out Roerlemans. I'm from the Netherlands. We've been sailing around the world for quite a bit. Beautiful, across the Atlantic, did a lot of beautiful sailing, but then we found Little Giant. That's a game changer. Catamaran is a whole different sailing experience. It's unbelievable what it gives you in the sense of space, safety, stability, of course. If you're anchoring at night, it lies on top of the waves. Little Giant just sits really relaxed on the waves, and sometimes you wake up and you don't even notice that you're actually on the ocean. It's the ease of sailing that draw us towards a Little Giant, and it's been an unbelievable experience for us. It's really been good.
Right now the crew's raising the mainsail. This is the mainsail that we had taken off the boat during the refit. It went to North Sails and they did a full inspection of the sail, took all the battens out. Those were all inspected, a couple replaced. We had some stitching renewed in the mainsail, but it's in great shape, as you can see. And the crew just used it coming down from Fort Lauderdale to Turks Caicos. It's about 11 knots of wind today. We're gonna sail with a full mainsail. And we'll be unfurling the Code Zero. So this is the Code Zero. It's a beautiful condition. It's a great looking sail. We're motoring along at about 12 knots right now. So we're just keeping up a little bit ahead of the boat. That's a great looking sail. It couldn't complement the hull color any better. This is a Zodiac tender. It's 17 feet long. Got a Mercury outboard on the back. The boat's fully equipped, fusion stereo system. All the upholstery is in great shape. There's a nice dive ladder on the back. This pole's designed for towing skiers. You've got a bow roller up on the bow. There's a nice set of new chaps down the side of the tender to protect it. And it rides really well. It's a very dry running tender. We also have this windscreen. This is removable, and when the boat's being transported, the tender fits up on the new tender lift perfectly. We're moving along here at 8 knots. You see there's plenty of wake behind the boat. We're really moving now. And this is the shot behind me. Look at how great that sail looks. You see those nice hydraulic furlers behind me that control rolling these sails in and out. That gives you a great perspective of what this boat looks like and how great that head sail looks. Now we're on the flybridge of the Sunreef 88. This model started out as a Sunreef 82. The original owner of this boat went to Sunreef and said, I really like the 82, but I want a boat that's a little bit faster and a little bit bigger, and I want to update the lines on it. And Sunreef was innovative enough to agree to build a 88-foot version of the 82. And this is the only 88 Sunreef has ever built. It actually looks a lot like an 82, it's just scaled much bigger. So a lot of the space on this boat is in the beam. We have the bow sections which are larger. The aft cockpit extends out further on this boat. So if you're on an 82 and you looked at it from far away, you'd probably say those boats are the same model. But once you get on this boat, you can feel that it's much wider, and the spaces in the aft cockpit, the foredeck, and in the salon are bigger than what you'd find on an 82. This is a very large living space. It's functional. We've got all the sailing control lines here. Every line for the boat is brought right to this area so that the crew and the helmsman can operate the boat very easily. These are all 2-speed electric winches. We've got some 3-speed and reverso winches here. It's a big boat, it's complicated, there's a lot of lines, but everything's led here, so it's not that difficult for the crew to operate. They don't have to be all over the boat, they don't have to be up at the mast, they don't have to be on the foredeck, they don't have to be aft somewhere. Everything's right here. So with these 6 winches, every control line on the boat can be easily managed. Sunreef does a great job with the control lines. These are the sheets for the code 0 and also for the spinnaker. These disappear up here in the flybridge and they reappear down there at the deck level, which means you don't have lines all over obstructing the area where your guests are walking down on the side of the yacht. For example, that green line that's going up to the black code 0 all the way forward, that runs all the way back, goes through a turning block, reappears up here on the edge of the coach roof on the flybridge and leads here. So that sail, you can look at that sail and control the line here. This is the main halyard winch on Little Giant, and it's one of the largest winches that Harkin makes. This is taking a huge mainsail up a mast that the top of this mast is 130 feet off the water. So you can imagine the kind of loads that are on this winch to get that mainsail up. The Traveler aft is also controlled up here. That moves back and forth on a Antil flatwinder. Very easy to handle for as big a boat as this is. This is an unusual halyard on Little Giant. Little Giant has 2 of these halyards, one on each side of the boat. And these are for launching the jet ski. The halyards come down to the side, they go to a bridle that attaches to the jet skis and it lifts them off the dock and puts them in the water. Not a common piece of running rigging that most sailors would recognize, but very functional. All the instrumentation on the yacht is right here. You've got chart plotter, radar, AIS, multifunction displays. Down here you've got the autopilot, wind instruments, depth, speed, speaker for the VHF, a wireless VHF for the captain to operate, 2 bow thrusters, one on each side. This operates the Traveler from port to starboard. You've got a windlass control, so the captain can raise and lower the anchor from the flybridge. You've got another multifunction display. This one has wind instruments on it, and then the engine vessel view. This shows all the status of the engine and then a searchlight control. So everything's right here for the captain to easily operate. He can see the sails, he can see what's ahead of him, he can see what the crew's doing controlling the lines, or he can set the autopilot and trim the sails himself. Very easy to handle. Also the furling, we have a furling spinnaker, a furling code 0, 2 large hydraulic Balmar furlers for the Genoa and the staysail, and those are all controlled here. These windows in the hardtop bimini are functional. The captain can have his hand on the wheel and can easily look up and see that the mainsail is going up properly. It's also easy for the crew to see if the sail's getting caught on a lazy jack. But as far as the sail handling, it makes it very simple and easy to maneuver the boat, having visibility through the hardtop bimini. And it doesn't let in a lot of sun where guests or the captain would be sitting on a long voyage, which is why it's solid here in the middle. This is the Traveler on the boat. This is the furthest aft rigging, and you can see that the Antil flatwinder here is what moves this back and forth from side to side to trim the mainsail, and then that's where the main sheet is attached on the boom. This is all carbon fiber boom, carbon fiber mast. These lines here are preventer that's already pre-rigged. This can go down to the sides of the boat, so if you're running in a rough sea, you can use the preventer that's already pre-rigged on the boom. And then this line you can see on the side, These are running backstays. That gives the mast extra support for when you're running a larger sail like a Code Zero. These carbon fiber poles here, these connect to a awning that attaches to the back of the bimini and comes out here to shade this area. The boat's configured now with 5 sun lounger pads across the back of the boat. And something new is Starlink antenna. So we've got a high performance Starlink antenna here, so we're fully connected to high-speed internet and television programming anywhere in the world. I can't imagine a better place to have an alfresco breakfast than anchored off of a beautiful beach on the flybridge of Little Giant. It's a perfect place, whether you own this yacht and you're having breakfast with your family and friends, or you're out on charter. The crew's prepared a beautiful breakfast, and you've got plenty of seating up here for up to 10 people. This is one of 2 outdoor dining locations. We have another one down in the aft cockpit. There's plenty of deck and lounging area as well. On this side, you've got a barbecue grill, fridges, ice maker, everything you would need to entertain on the flybridge. As you walk forward on the boat, you can notice there's flush fit, frameless deck hatches. This is the new Flexiteek that was installed when the boat was in Fort Lauderdale a few months ago. We've got storage here for jet skis. There's one on the other side. And the deck is very easy to walk on. You've got full-size lifelines and stanchions and an immense forward deck space. Large trampoline areas for cushions, laying out, reading books. 2 new anchor windlasses. All the furling systems have been rebuilt. Little Giant has 2 large anchors, all independently operated from 2 separate windlasses. The windlasses are new. The anchor chain's all been re-galvanized and all's in great shape. And there's a bridle system that goes forward that attaches to the anchor when it's deployed. There's 3 large forward hatches here on Little Giant. This one has a storage area for sails, spare parts, lines. There's a spare rudder in here. And then there's even a floor, a basement to this, that has a lot of small spare parts, all organized in bins. During the refit, all 3 of these lockers on the bow were completely emptied out, cleaned. They were all repainted, and then some more storage areas were fit into the forward compartments. This one has a compressor in it for filling up water toys and using compressed air for tools and things like that on board. This locker has a dive compressor in it. It's got a Baumar Junior and dive tanks and scuba gear for charter guests and the owners to use. These 2 forward hatches have crew cabins in them. There's a single berth with a head and shower, separate head and shower. Plenty of storage for the crew. There's windows that open up on the side of the boat, so there's some natural light in there. And these are both air-conditioned bow compartments for the crew. Little Giant has several areas that are set up for laying out and catching sun. This is the forward, and you can see what a beautiful view you have sitting up here, reading a book and getting some sun. Perfect place to stretch out a little bit when you're on board. Gives the guests a lot of choices on where they're spending their time on board. The carbon fiber mast on Little Giant, this is 130 feet off the water. During our refit, we had the mast completely taken off, all the fittings inspected, several things replaced and upgraded. All the line on the boat, all the halyards and sheets, those are all new. And you can see in what great condition this is. We just had the mainsail out. It's very easy to deploy out of the canoe boom. But this was a very big part of the refit, having the mast and boom removed. And during that time, also all the sails were removed from the boat and brought to the North Sails Loft in Fort Lauderdale for inspection. So they had some upgrades done to them and also some stitching replaced. You can imagine waking up in the morning, going for a swim, coming up here to the aft cockpit area and having breakfast here with your friends and family. It's a lovely location, and this is our second area that we have for alfresco dining. The other one I showed you was up on the flybridge. Design element that's often overlooked by yacht builders and designers is the day head. This has become very desirable in a lot of the new Sunreefs that we're building, and on Little Giant we have a very nice one. This allows guests, if they're wet, they've been out swimming, to be able to use the head without going through the rest of the boat. And if you're entertaining or you have large groups on board, you don't have people going in and out of each one of the cabins. And then from here we'll have a walk through the inside of the boat. This is the largest space on the Sunreef 88. You can see we've opened all the sliding doors here, so it gives a huge open, airy space, and you can imagine on these nice days having the boat completely open, cool breezes blowing through. And then inside we have a dining area, huge lounge area. The owners invested a tremendous amount in. This is a 85-inch flat screen TV that's visible behind the mirror. So it's not obtrusive, it doesn't look weird like there's a giant television in the salon. There's just a nice reflection on this bulkhead of what you're seeing in the cockpit, which is normally beautiful water in a bay. This is a very, very substantial upgrade that the owners did on the boat shortly after purchasing it, and it fits perfectly. And then also here in the ceiling is another television that drops down. This television that comes down from this ceiling panel can be viewed from the dining table or outside in the cockpit. We also have a wine cellar located in this space, and then there's surround sound all through the salon area with a really great sound system. This is the kind of place where you'll be able to live indoors and outdoors very comfortably. And with the huge sliding doors, it gives your inside and outside space one enormous living area. You can't find this on any other cats in this range. The owners of this boat have spent a tremendous amount of time and thoughtfulness outfitting the decor on the yacht. And one of the great examples of these are these designer Ralph Lauren lamps that you find throughout the boat. They really look great, they're a timeless style, and they certainly match with the decor that's made up with a lot of natural fibers. You've got linen here on the couch, you've got leather cushions, you've got leather inlays on the countertops, and natural wood with a pickled oak finish that blends perfectly throughout the rest of the boat. And then you've got teak finish with the director's chairs. Looks great. Here in the dining area, there's seating for 6. You could probably fit a couple more people in here, maybe 8. There's storage space all the way along these cabinets, top loading. On this area, on the port side, there's some lounging cushions, so you could take a nap there or read a book, relax. And then you have this really ingenious wine glass cabinet. Here it displays all these glasses. They're easy to access and they don't rattle around offshore. Well, I can tell you one thing, it doesn't feel like you're on a yacht out in the ocean, but what it does feel like is you're in a very comfortable atmosphere with a tremendous amount of natural light, and the volume that you feel inside this space with the high ceilings is unmatched. You rarely can find yourself in a yacht this size that has this much interior volume and the airiness and light that you feel here in the salon in this space. Windows you see here in the salon, the ones there on the port side, all these ones here on the starboard, the elevated windows up above the salon, they all have electrically actuated blinds. So all these blinds roll up and roll down. So very nice living accommodations, very comfortable space, easy to entertain, very comfortable to relax, and a good place to watch movies. And then as we walk forward, we can go straight through to the bridge deck owner's cabin. And this is really where you see the difference between other catamarans and a double deck Sunreef. So what we're in is the owner's cabin, which is bridge deck height. So we're looking at the deck here. Huge king size berth. You can see some of the very nice designer Ralph Lauren lighting. There's also a daybed area, nice place to take a nap or read a book or relax. And then we're gonna go down here on the port side and have a look at the head and shower. You have a full standing shower, locker, heated towel rack, and a separate toilet compartment, and a large vanity with nice natural stone looking Corian. This is the starboard forward guest cabin. You can see it's nicely finished like all the others. This is the port side aft cabin. Another nice berth. You can see the berth is a little bit lower here. Once again, custom mattresses, very high-end linens. There's plenty of storage in this cabin. There's 2 hanging lockers. There's one here and another one behind the door on this side. There's also a selection of cabinets and then some drawers at the end of the berths. We're having a look now at the port side forward guest cabin. You can see it has a very nice large berth, cabinets all through here, a closet with a nice illuminated coat hanger rack. Look how beautiful these distinctive Sunreef windows are. This, I think, gives you a really spectacular view in the morning. You're waking up, you're looking out at these windows and you can see beautiful Caribbean scenes and the beaches in the background. Here in the port side of the boat, we have a industrial professional Miele washer and dryer, and loads of storage space here for various cleaning products and things for the crew, extra linens. But everything's contained in this space in the hallway. Below me is a wine cellar. It's a very nice and secure way to secure bottles inside the boat while underway. And it actually stays quite cool in the bilge on the boat. This is a gourmet galley on Little Giant. There's a full-size fridge in this compartment. Another one here. Drawer freezer, all Miele appliances. We have a Gaggenau oven that also has a steamer in it, a microwave, also with a convection grill, Miele industrial professional dishwasher. We have 2 freezers in the floor in the galley. This is one of 5 coffee makers. There's a whole variety of coffee that can be made here on board. Nice commercial sink with incinerator, induction stovetop, once again by Miele, and a hood ventilation. Very big galley, plenty of room to put in any coolers or trash cans or whatever you want to do. And there's plenty of space here for preparing large meals for large groups of people and guests on board. One of the most important pieces of equipment on a crewed yacht is accommodations for the crew. Everyone recognizes that's important to have, and it's critical to have comfortable accommodations for the crew in order to retain good crew and keep them. So this whole area is designed as a crew space. So we're in the galley right now, And as we go aft, this is a crew cabin that was reconfigured in the refit that I'll show you. This is the aft crew cabin and mess. When the boat was originally built, there were two berths here, one down on this side, and then another one here. These were two singles. In the refit, this berth was made to be larger. We have another single berth up above. In this space, there's seating, so you can sit 4 crew here. This is a removable table, and there's also a separate head and shower. You've got a toilet, a nice sink, and a full-size walk-in shower with a rain shower head. It's quite nice. This, I think, is a very important aspect of a large crewed yacht, being able to comfortably accommodate the crew, not only when they're sleeping, but when they're off duty. They can take meals at this table, they can do planning, and they can separate themselves from the owners and guests, and use a toilet, take a shower, whatever they need. There's a lot of concealed storage in this space. There's storage underneath this bunk here. There's storage underneath the seat that I'm on, storage in this space. There's a cabinet back there, another top loading cabinet, and then drawers here along the side, and then a hanging locker in the back, and then a television here that's connected to the Starlink. That makes this entire side of the boat, the starboard aft side, all crew. So not only do you have the crew accommodations that we're just in, but you also have the galley here. So all these crew functions can take place in this part of the boat without interrupting the owners and guests throughout the rest of the living spaces in the boat. Up here you can see we have an inside helm station. All the electronics and controls that are on the flybridge are duplicated in this area. Got a joystick for steering the boat. It's neutral, center position going forward. Bow thrust control, electronic engine throttles. This is the multi-function display for both the engines. This is the same screen we have up on the flybridge, so we've got radar, chart plotter, all of that. These windows are very nice. They have wipers, so even in really bad weather, which is, you know, the time that you'd normally be in this space, you're able to have great visibility even in really inclement weather. So this gives the captain another option if it's really cold or really wet to be in this location. It's also raised up, so we're in the second level of the double deck 88. The owner's cabin is forward and below us, and we've got a very good view here. There's also some video cameras that come up here on the chart plotter display on the transom, so we can see other areas of the boat while it's being operated from inside this area. This is the Sunreef Navilex system. Right now we're looking at the light display, so we can see locations where all the lights are turned on the boat. What I like about this for a captain or owner is it's very easy to turn on all the lights on the exterior of the boat or turn on all the lights on the interior, however you have it set up. So when you're getting back on the boat, instead of going all around the boat, turning lights on or turning lights off, there's one master control for that. You can also see the technical display. So we've got information here about the water makers, freshwater pumps, the engine room temperatures and the fan cooling status, also the bilges and the AC. Gives us a indication of the electrical power on the boat, so we know what's in the bow thruster batteries and also in the engine start batteries, and then we can see the flow of power from the charger into the batteries. And then overall we can see our freshwater, our fuel tanks, any alarm status, whether the generators or engines are on or off, and also how much electrical power we're putting out into the boat. And then you've got two controls here for both the generators, water maker control, fire suppression systems, automatic bilge pumps, analog tank displays. The inside helm station on Little Giant is something that we don't find in catamarans under 80 feet, particularly where the inside helm station is elevated and you have a really good view from the inside. There's also a privacy door, so the captain can close this off from the rest of the boat. so that all the technical stuff isn't visible with guests. And you can have this laid out as a nav station with cruising guides and communicate on shore to the other crew members. This is a portside engine room, and during the refit, a tremendous amount of work was done here. Number one, the engines came out, the generators came out, the chiller units came out, water makers came out, all this ventilation machinery came out, and the engines were replaced, so we have new engines in here. The generators have been rebuilt, the water makers have been rebuilt, all the ventilation systems, all of these were all rebuilt, all new fuel lines, the through hulls have all been replaced, new rudder bearings, new shaft seals, new zincs, a lot of new seacocks, along with the skin fittings that they're attached to. You know, anything that could, would, or should be done during the terms of a refit was done in this space. So what we're sitting on right now is the top of one of the new water tanks. There's a water tank just like this, exact same size, 2,000 liters on the other side of the boat. When this project was started, there was nothing in this space, so all of this has been built into the boat. Inside here are a number of baffles and chambers, and there's a drain that goes through the middle. This is a very big undertaking to build in these tanks. I think we're maybe around $50,000. So these are going to be reliable and last for the lifetime of the boat, for sure. Everything you could imagine that needs to be done, should be done, or would be a smart upgrade has been done on this boat, and it's ready to go now.
So a boat like Little Giant is all about creating memories with your loved ones and your family. That's what we did for so many years. And for us now, it's the time to pass it on to a new family and a new owner that enjoy it as much as we have done.